Get my 6. So what's up, guys? Not using a tripod today. I rarely do. So I'm going to try to hold the phone as steady as possible. Watch for movement. Listen for tree knocks or anything else out of the norm. I'll scan around as I can throughout this video to see if we see anything back there. Basically, I want to give a potential Bigfoot Sasquatch update in a couple of ways. And then I've got a very special message for what our viewer Jim Stump calls Crazy Lake Nation, CLN, Crazy Lake Nation. Jim, there's your shout out. I like that term. You've been using it for about a year. I've never mentioned it. But Bigfoot Sasquatch update. Actually, there's two. Number one, okay, I do believe that we may or may not have been followed home from the lair about a week or so ago when my beautiful bride Dearly, aka Giggly Girl, and myself went back to the lair, making sure we were not followed to the lair by individuals who do not deserve to know where the lair is, because we do not believe their intentions for these, what we believe to be peaceful, passive creatures. We just don't think they have good intentions for them. So anyway, we snuck back into the lair. You probably saw that video. The very next day, strange things started happening. Now, one of those things, of course, we cataloged those issues here in a video about the perfectly healthy broken maple limb. Firewood piles knocked over again on all corners of the property. What seemed to be a new property marking, or a new territorial marking, but also just the corn in our garden. Now, my beautiful bride Dearly, aka Giggly Girl, seems to think that raccoons ransacked our corn. I don't think so. I think it may I thought I heard footsteps. I think it may or may not have been Bigfoot Sasquatch. Here's the deal, and I don't want to seem too gruesome here, but we have not had a raccoon problem this year. We haven't had a raccoon problem for the last couple of years. And this spring, when the raccoons were reproducing and having their babies, I found parts of like raccoon bodies all over the property, and it was from the foxes. Now, that's as like least graphic as I think I can say that. And here's what's going on. In Virginia, where we live, when it comes to can you or can't you, dispatch what, some animals that can be considered nuisances, like raccoons with trash cans and gardens, all this stuff, foxes in regard to your chickens or whatnot. The state of Virginia goes on a county by county basis. So to make sure you're not breaking any laws in regard to hunting or illegally killing certain animals, you better check to see what your county's ordinance is. Well, in our county, you can't kill foxes, and so they are everywhere. I saw one this morning when I was finishing up my mountain bike ride, just kind of laying in one of my neighbor's driveways like a cat soaking up the sun. I mean, they're everywhere. And one of the reasons that you're not allowed to kill them in our county, I believe, is because they have various fox hunting clubs around here. And they've got to have foxes for the folks to come hunt. They pay thousands of dollars a year for these memberships to be parts of these clubs. I don't think they kill them. I think they chase them on horseback with their red jackets on and their riding boots, and they pull out their flasks when the dogs get onto a fox, and they'll say something like, "Good show, old boy," and take a hit of their cognac and put it in there and then chase the thing on their horses. But I don't think they actually kill them. So the point of that is the foxes just completely decimated the raccoons this year. So I do not think that it was raccoons that got our corn. And it's ironic that it happened the very night after the day that we had gone into the lair for the first time in many months. So there's an update on that. That's an update on, the Bigfoot Sasquatch situation, potential Bigfoot Sasquatch, potential situation here on our potentially haunted homestead, where we may or may not have a Bigfoot Sasquatch or 6 living in the woods behind our home. not only can you hear that, it sounds like a distant howl. Oh, there's a big truck down there in the road. I was hearing its tires. Guys, if I know what I'm hearing, I point it out, okay? Let's watch back this way for a while. The road's a quarter of a mile away from me, but that was a very large truck, like commercial sized truck, and it was its tires rolling on the road. So, you know, a lot of people talk about seeing faces in trees in these videos. Excuse me. I just had lunch. Our friend Jenny Jo is here, and she made this super awesome seafood pasta she makes. You guys got to go like her channel, watch her videos. She's an excellent cook too. Oh, I personally prefer Dearly's cooking, but Jenny's seafood pasta, which she actually made for us today, is second to none. It's great. I think today she made a video about that, and if so, I will put that video on the end of this video in the middle. You got to watch the way this, if you love pasta and you love seafood, you got to try it, okay? So anyway, while you're there, like and subscribe, tell her Crazy Lake sent you. Okay, so, Bigfoot Sasquatch Files update. As you know, if you've been following along, Bigfoot Sasquatch Files 1, 2, and 3 are now out. I had hoped to release a new issue of this monthly, but Bigfoot Sasquatch Files Volume 4 is not going to, I honestly do not believe is going to come out at the end of August. And here's why, and this is where I have a very special message to Crazy Lake Nation, okay? Let's watch from this angle here for a little bit. There's a pretty big X. Okay, so I am diligently working. I mean, I'm typing till my fingertips bleed. Not really, but I know when you say that as a guitar player, it makes it sound like you're practicing a lot. So I just thought maybe if I said I was typing until my fingertips bleed, maybe it would give you an idea of just how much I've been writing. But a lot, 3,000 to 5,000 words a day. And I'm working very diligently on getting this Halloween anthology finished before the end of August, because I've got to get it to my editor before the end of August. He said, don't get it to me at midnight 01 on September 1. I'm not even going to touch it because there won't be enough time to do what he's got to do, get it to the publisher, get it available by the end of September, so it's ready for October, and you'll understand why it's Halloween's in October, okay? He says you can get it to me at 11:59.59 by August 31st. If you can't get it to me by then, don't get it to me until next year or whatever, or don't expect it to go out till next year. So I've been consumed with this, okay? But here's the problem, and this is where the special message for Crazy Lake Nation comes into play. I don't know how the creative process works, okay? And I've watched Stephen King in many interviews talk about how people always ask him, where do you get your ideas? Where do you get your ideas? And he can't really explain it either. I think it's an issue of you either have it or you don't. But even when you do have it, as I do believe I have it to a degree, I mean, I've written several books and a bunch of short story collections. Sometimes it's like it's just not there, and we call these times writer's block. So I was having a period of writer's block yesterday, and so we did a live stream. I was splitting firewood, and I found that I have a chronically inflamed lower lumbar due to my time in the military, wearing the body armor, being cinched down into the gunner's turret for a year while bouncing across the desert in Iraq, seeing the whole northern part of the country through the sights of a 50 cal machine gun, tore my back up. And it seems to be a progressive thing just this year alone, I've gone from, running 5 or 6 days a week to now biking 5 or 6 days a week and running about once or twice a week because I just can't take the pounding. Well, I haven't split firewood since last winter, and yesterday during that live feed, I found out that I'm probably not going to split that wood. I mean, I'm in pain right now. Just, you know, that's just how it is. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut those logs down. Those stove links, they're about 3 inches too long to fit into my manual splitter. I think I'm just going to cut them down. It's something I can do with my chainsaw. Let the machine do the work, not my back. Cut them down and split them with the manual splitter. And going forward, I might just be buying my firewood, you know, instead of splitting and stacking my own. But I think I got one more year in me here if I cut them down and split them. So now, there is a point to this. So I had writer's block. We go out. We did the live stream. Had a very odd situation with a tree knock. You can go back and watch the live stream, and I even timestamped it in the description box, so you don't have to watch the entire hour and a half long live stream. It's at the 1 hour and 15 minutes and 40-second mark or something like that. You can go check that out. But while I was inside eating, while watching the live stream on my laptop, because I had the phone recording live outside, I noticed that there was a conversation going on about fairies. A couple of the viewers were claiming to see fairies. And then, so talking about fairies, I'm like, well, this is neat. I thought we were looking for Bigfoot Sasquatch. And I have reason to believe there are things other than just Bigfoot Sasquatch here. But they're talking about fairies, going on and on about fairies. And I'm like, well, that's interesting. You know, I know a little bit about fairy lore, not a whole lot. I need to brush up on it. So anyway, we stopped the live stream. I got the phone. I went back up into my office, which is a spare bedroom upstairs I have set up as an office. And I still just had writer's block. I did not know what to write about. And I'm getting really close to finishing this anthology. And it's a timely matter. It's a timely issue. So I had the blinds up. And the windows are so clean. You can look out, and it's like the windows aren't even there. I'm looking out at the pond. And there at the pond, below the pond, we have a bunch of flowers, and that's where our fruit orchard is. So there's always just pollinators flying around. So I'm looking out, and I'm seeing the dragonflies buzzing around in the pond, and I'm seeing the butterflies and the bumblebees and the honeybees, and just so many different types of butterflies here. And I just start kind of like squinting my eyes just a little bit to where everything kind of comes into a blur. And I just thought of the fairies the people were talking about during the live stream. Let's make sure we're getting over here. And instantly, I had the story in my head. And I sat up there all afternoon and I typed it, and it turned out being a 3,000 long short story, perfect fit for this Halloween anthology. No spoilers, but I will tell you the title of the story is it's called A Very Fairy Halloween, and it turned out to be a beautiful story. Now, here's the special message for Crazy Lake Nation. You ready? 2 words. Thank you. Again, I don't understand the whole creative process when you are an artist type, like a writer or a musician or a painter. But I know that there was a series of events that if it hadn't happened the way it did yesterday, that story would never have come. And it did because of you, CLN, Crazy Lake Nation, taking the time to watch my potential Bigfoot Sasquatch show here on our Homesteading Off the Grid channel on YouTube, giving your input, giving your feedback, sitting there having a conversation about fairies. It's a new angle, but it's perfectly fitting for something Halloweenish, which is like supernatural, mystical, magical, paranormal type. Staying away from the horror, no slasher and dasher stuff. But, you know, this channel and a lot of what we do here is really done, and I mentioned this when I gave the interview to Giggly Girl the other day on her channel, Life with Dearly. It's almost like it's interactive. There's an ebb and a flow here that leads to, it led to the creation of that short story, which I desperately needed. I'm running out of time. And that took a big chunk out of the work because of the members of Crazy Lake Nation coming here, being positive, being supportive. And let's not even forget to mention you guys gave me an audience. You know, for years you've been saying, we know you're a writer, you should write about Bigfoot Sasquatch. We'd buy the books. And after being burned on other social media platforms where people say stuff like that because they want to look good on social media, then you put something out there and nobody touches it. For 2 years, I kept thinking, yeah, right. So I tested the waters with Bigfoot Sasquatch Files Volume 1. Honest effort, 20,000 words. That's a lot. It's novella length, okay? A novella length collection of short stories. I think it was 5, roughly 4,000 words long each, okay? I put forth an honest effort. That's 20,000 words isn't easy. Fairly priced for that length. Basically, like lowest priced at that length. $2.99 ebook copy or whatever, $6.99 print. Put it out there. Woke up the next day shocked at the hundreds of people who were actually buying this thing. People were putting their money where their mouth was. They were truly being supportive. They just weren't trying to look good in the comment section on social media. So thank you for giving me an audience that, you know, I didn't really have, and which has inspired me and reignited my entire writing career. And then again, you gave me the prompt, you know, the writing prompt of the fairies to put together one of the short stories for the upcoming Halloween collection, the anthology. 31 original Halloween flavored stories, and some of them are good. Some of them are over 5,000 words long because it just, and it's, so that's your Bigfoot Sasquatch update as far as what's going on here on the homestead, potentially. While we probably aren't going to see a Bigfoot Sasquatch Files Volume 4 this month, but trust me, come late September with this anthology, I think the wait will be worth it. And number 3, just, you know, I don't have 214,000 subscribers on this channel because I'm so good. I have 214,000 subscribers on this channel because those of you who give me your time and watching my videos are so good. And if I were to not be thankful, if I were to take you for granted, that would make me somebody that I'm not. So it was very important for me to get up here today and just say thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your input. Thank you for the inspiration. Thank you. See you for more next time from the PBS S. The Potential Bigfoot Sasquatch Show.